everyone, how have you been? So today I was almost about to cry. I was almost about to cry in the middle of the road because I was thinking stupid thoughts and I was thinking a lot of things and I was feeling like, why is this world so unfair and what did I do to deserve some very bad things that happened to me, and why is this world not treating me the way I try to treat this world and the people in it? Why? I was like, there were so many whys, and I was almost about to cry, but there was this one bold voice inside of me which just alerted me and said, oh, Namuna, the world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't. And all of a sudden, I stopped being so emotional and I was like, yeah, the world doesn't owe me anything. I accepted it so easily. But I learned it the hard way though. When I was a little kid, everybody used to praise me so much. Everybody used to say, Namna is going to go so far in life. She's going to be great and the world is going to know her. She's going to be a great person, and so and so and so on. And I believed it. I thought I was talented. I thought I was so amazing, so special that one day the world will give everything to me. I thought all I had to do was just be myself, just do what I do, just try to show my talent wherever I can, try to express it, and the world will recognize it and realize it and give me whatever it is that I deserve with such talent. But then days kept passing by, and I waited for the world to just hug me and give me all that I deserved, but I got things that I never expected to get. I thought that world would be a bed of roses. I would have more happy moments than the sad ones, and I would live a very successful life. And I would only hear claps and people would clap for me and praise me just like how they did when I was a kid. But slowly, I started developing this victim mentality. I started thinking that, okay, the world is not as good as I thought it was. The world is not a fair place. The world is hell. And it is so rude, so stupid, so unbothered that it doesn't care about me. And it is because of the world that I'm not able to succeed. It is because of the world that I'm not getting what I want because the world is not giving it to me. So I am the victim. I kept complaining and complaining and complaining, and I complained so much that I sometimes wonder if God has stopped listening to me because I kept complaining so much. Like, why? Is my talent being wasted? Like, why is the world not recognizing me as it did when I was a kid? Why is this world behaving this way with me? I've always been kind. Why is this world rude to me? Why? There were so many whys throughout my life. And I never asked these questions to myself. I asked these questions to the world. I kept asking it to the world, and the world always gave it answer with a slap. Like, now you get it? And I kept crying and crying and crying for such a long time. And I did not even realize how time was just passing by, how I was wasting my time. I had developed this victim mentality, thinking that the world owes me something. I'm special, I'm talented, so the world needs to give me what I deserve. I'm hardworking, I have done my work, so the world needs to bring me my results. I kept waiting for that, and I waited and waited and waited, and nothing ever happened. Nothing. I just kept complaining, being a stupid victim, and giving all the power to the world and never doing anything on my own. But today this voice snapped me back to the reality. I was almost about to cry and become a victim again, but something inside of me said the world doesn't owe you anything. Just because you think you deserve something doesn't mean that the world is going to give it to you. We were all born randomly. Nobody chose to be here. We were just born one day and we had to live this life. So everybody is living their life in their own ways and they don't owe you anything. Just because you think you are a good person doesn't mean that you will get all the good things in life. Life doesn't work that way, and it doesn't mean life is unfair. I don't even think that this world has the concept of fairness and unfairness. This is what we humans have created, right? And sometimes, like, some people who think they are good keep complaining about, I'm a good person, why do bad things happen to me? And that is the victim mentality I'm talking about. Like, just because you think you are good doesn't mean that the world is not going to treat you in a bad way. Because it hasn't taken out any loan from you, which it has to give back to you. The world doesn't have the pressure to treat you in a right way, in a good way. The world doesn't owe you anything. So it all comes back to you, and you owe yourself everything. When you realize that the world is not going to give you what you deserve, that is the moment, that is the intermission, that is a plot twist. That is when you begin thinking, okay, so this world is not going to give it to me. Now, how do I give it back to myself? How do I give myself what I deserve? Because I know what I deserve, although the world doesn't know or doesn't care, but I know what I deserve, right? So I will give those things to myself. That is the turning point. But if you keep on waiting for the world to come and recognize you, notice you, see you, and give you everything, you will waste so much of your time, like I did. I think I could have done so many things with the time I wasted with my victim mentality. I kept thinking that one day, by some miracle, God will give me everything I deserve. But that miracle never happened. I kept waiting for things to happen to me, and I waited and waited, and then I realized one day that things would never happen to me until I made them happen. It is good to be hopeful, it is good to be positive, but don't let that make you stupid. You have to see the reality as well. You have to see things for what it is. You have to see people for who they are. You cannot just always be in your thoughts and thinking, oh, magic, magic, magic. I do believe in magic and miracles, but sometimes we need to accept the reality as well in order to do what we need to do. We cannot always sit in the corner and keep crying about how we did not get what we deserved, how we gave all our love but got nothing in return. Because sometimes it's not even other people who are hurting you, it's you yourself. Like, we have these expectations. Like, when I treat someone kindly, I automatically assume that they are going to treat me kindly, and which is foolish. So when I expect others to treat me kindly, because I have treated them kindly, and then they don't do so, then they treat me rudely, then I get hurt and I start crying. So it's not them, it's my expectations. We believe that if we behave in a kind way, if we behave in a good way, then the world will do the same to us, and that is our expectation. And when the world doesn't do that, we get hurt and we get stuck and we keep crying and crying and crying, thinking how the world is unfair, how the world is this, how the world is that, and we get stuck and we cannot do anything for ourselves. It took me a long time to realize this, that the world doesn't owe you anything. All you can control is your heart, your mind, you yourself. You cannot control other people. No matter how much you want them to do what you want them to do, they are not going to do it. Everybody has their own things to figure out. Everybody has their own circumstances, their own situations, and they are going to behave the way they want. You cannot expect them to behave a certain way just because you like that behavior. No, because they don't owe you anything. Just because you are talented, you are hardworking, you are smart, you are kind, doesn't mean that someday the world will come and clap for you all of a sudden and give you everything. And the sooner you realize that, the better. Because you have to understand it. We are not kids anymore. We have to understand things for the way they are. Life isn't a fairy tale. No, it isn't. And if you want to still believe in fairy tale, then create that fairy tale for yourself. Don't expect it from others. Even when you are kind, people will be rude to you. Accept that. So the next time they are rude to you, you won't be as hurt as you were before. Even when you do all the hard work, assume that the world might not even consider it. The world might not even respect it. Just assume it. And then when they do respect it, you'll be a bit surprised and happy. And when they don't, still you won't be as hurt as you used to be. If you love someone and if you expect them to love you back, and if that doesn't happen, then you will get hurt so very badly. But if you just love and consider this possibility that they are not going to love you back, then you won't be as hurt as you used to be. Because what we think is, if we love someone, they have to love us back. If we are kind, then others have to be kind. And we have this thought process. And when that doesn't happen, we become a victim and waste our lives away. And that is such a sad thing to do. So whenever you are about to cry, whenever you are about to feel like a victim and think to yourself, why is this world unfair? Why did this happen to me? I'm a good person. Why do bad things happen to me? And this and that. Just snap yourself back to the reality and Tell yourself that the world doesn't owe you anything. Just because you think you deserve help doesn't mean you will get it. Just because you think you deserve an award, you deserve appreciation, doesn't mean that you will get it, because the world has its own troubles to think about and it doesn't owe you anything. So you have to do things which you want for yourself. You have to give yourself that pat on the back which you are expecting from the world. You have to give yourself the love which you are expecting from the world. You have to give yourself all that you want and all that you think you deserve, because even though the world doesn't owe you anything, you owe yourself things. Having a victim mentality is the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing anyone can do to themselves. Either be a hero or a villain. Don't be a victim. Don't act like a victim. Don't keep crying in your corner. Get out from there and see the world for what it is. It all just happened randomly. Let us consider that everything happened randomly. We all were born out of nowhere and we had to figure out our own lives. And Ram is figuring his own life and Sita is figuring her own life. And Sita cannot expect Ram to, understand her whole life all of a sudden and thinks he's a good person and treat her in a good way. And so it goes for both of them. Ram has to give himself the world he thinks he deserves, and Sita has to give herself the world she thinks he deserves. They cannot expect it from one another because nobody owes anybody anything. Everybody has their own troubles to figure out. Everybody has their own situation to figure out. Stop waiting. Just do what you need to do. Just love how you need to love. Just do whatever you can do. Just do whatever you can control. And stop being such a stupid, optimistic person. Be optimistic, but not a stupid one. We need to be optimistic yet realistic. We need to hope because hope is a beautiful thing, but expectations are dangerous. Every time we expect something, we need to expect it from ourselves because we can control ourselves, but we cannot control the world. And the world will do what it wants to do, what it needs to do. So you protect yourself. Nobody is going to come and save you. So you save yourself. Nobody is going to come and applaud your hard work and all of a sudden make you a hero and treat you in an extraordinary way. So make sure that you do that to yourself and show it to the world how you need to be treated. Don't just expect it. Show them. Show them that this is what I deserve. Don't just silently expect it, all right? So, yeah, that's what I'm telling to myself as well. Have a great evening, have a great day, have a great night, and keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop crying, stop complaining. Because if you complain too much, God will stop listening. So, yeah, bye.